We're going to get functions from word problems today. So rather than just giving you ordered pairs or things like that, we're going to have to actually get the function or get the numbers out of a word problem. So for this, we're still going to use the slope-intercept form, our y equals mx plus b. All right, we got our slope, we got our y-intercept, slope is m, y-intercept b. When we have word problems, there are certain words that help you know which one it's talking about, okay? So if you see, we'll start with slope. Slope's a little easier. If you see the words, especially each, every, or per, but then also rate, those are words that mean slope, okay? So each, every, per are the three most common ones. So if it says like $5 per whatever, right? You know, that means the 5 is going to be your slope. That makes sense? Slope's pretty easy. Y-intercepts aren't horrible. They are initial values, starting amount, one-time fee, things like that. All right? Those words can kind of be interchanged a little bit. They can be mixed up. So you might see like initial amount or initial fee. You get what I'm saying? But if you see initial, starting, or one time, those are usually going to mean your y-intercept words, okay? Our y-values are almost always going to be a total amount. Are there a couple other things that can mean y? Yeah, but usually y is going to be the total amount. X then is usually like time. Could be like, you know, days, weeks, hours, things like that. Size, and by size that means like inches, feet, or it could be like pounds, that sort of stuff, or just the number of items. Okay? Everybody at least follow a little bit so far? So these are words you look for. When you see any of these words, that's kind of what that means for you. So if we look at this word problem here, it says suppose the water level of a river is 34 feet and that it is receding at a rate of half a foot per day. We need to write an equation for the water level y after x days. So, you know, we're going to have our y equals something x, right? The water level is our y value. The water level, like I just said before, that's the total amount, right? Total amount of water. X days, X is the number of days, days is the time. So you see this works or fits kind of with that stuff. Do we see any of the other types of words? Per. So if we see per, that means that's going to be our slope. It's half a foot per day. Now there's something a little tricky about this one. What's happening to the water? It's receding. So what's that mean? Going down. What should that mean for our slope then? Negative. So we have a negative 0.5 for our slope. What was the starting amount for the water? 34. We got plus a 34 feet. Okay? Not super difficult. It's finding the words. Tell you which one each piece is, okay? So we look at this next one. This is where it maybe sometimes gets a little trickier. It tells you what variables to use. Not every equation uses y and x. It's still going to be set up the same, like y equals mx plus b. Just one of those variables is taking the place of the y value. One of those variables is taking the place of the x. So it says to write an equation for the cost C after h hours of babysitting. So which one is y, which one is x? C is y, h is x. H is hours, that's a time. Times probably 90% of the time at least going to be an X value, okay? C is the cost. Another way of saying cost would be the total cost, right? That's a total. That makes it a Y value. So C equals something H. All right, everybody good on that part? Which one's the slope? 5. How do we know? It says $5 per hour. So 5 is going to be our slope. The other number, the $3, it says a flat fee, $3. That's a different way of wording. Still kind of fits with an initial fee or like a one-time fee. Okay? Any questions on this? I said this isn't like rocket science. This isn't like super difficult thing. It's reading it at least a little carefully to know which number goes with which words. Y'all go ahead and try this one. A plumber charges $25 for a service call plus $50 per hour of service. We need an equation that shows the cost C after H hours of service. C is a very common one because a lot of things deal with money or the cost. All right. Adrian, what you got? C equals 50H plus 25. Okay. Any questions on that? For our work today, if they give you the variables, this one did give C and H, you got to use C and H. If they don't give you the variables, we'll just use X and Y, okay? All right, this one we got plumber. Same plumber as the problem before. This isn't asking for an equation though. It's asking total cost for 8 hours of work. Just go ahead and get an answer here. Brian? $425 is correct. All right, how do we do that? All right, so I said we times 8. It's $50 per hour. That means the 50 gets multiplied by the hours, whatever comes after the hours, or whatever comes after the per, I mean. And then it's plus the 25. Y'all, so we did, like he said, 50 times 8 plus 25. Right? That's what everybody did. We multiplied 50 times 8, then we added 25 to it. Y'all, you realize that's exactly what that equation is, right? So with this equation that we got before, we had the cost equals 50H plus 25. Do you necessarily have to write the equation first on a problem like that? No, but writing the equation or getting it set up correctly a lot of times helps you know what to multiply. Slope is the one that gets multiplied by the variable. So you know to do 50 times the 8 because it's $50 per hour. So the 50 goes with the hours. That makes sense? Any questions?